What's going on, guys? My name is Airfaded, and today I'm here to show you my 1999 Mitsubishi Lancer EVO 6 GSR drag tune build. This is a build that utilizes the stock EVO 6 engine, which makes 844 horsepower fully upgraded, and it is also all-wheel drive, of course, as it is a EVO 6. And yeah, so let's just get right into the build here. Obviously, we are going to be keeping the stock engine and the stock drivetrain to keep it all-wheel drive. As far as the aero is concerned, you can go whatever you want for the front bumper. I went with the Veris Sport front bumper. For the wing, go ahead and remove the wing. That'll reduce drag for your car, which is very necessary for drag cars. Stock side skirts, you can add some mud flaps if you want, but that's not for me. And then I did go ahead and put the carbon fiber hood on. You can go with either of these options. It's just it does remove 6 pounds, so if you just make sure you use one of those 3 kits, you'll be removing some front weight. And then coming over to the tires, obviously we have some drag tires as wide as possible, 275s on the front and on the rear, as well as kicking the rear track width and front track width all the way out. For rims, you can go with whatever you want. I just went ahead and chose the Cone Egg Daylights. But choose a light rim if you want to. It'll help you at least with weight. Then going over to the drivetrain here, we got race clutch, we have the race transmission, the race driveline, and then the drift differential. If you guys missed my last video, I mentioned that I think I saw somewhere that the drift differential shifts a little bit harder in this game. So I've been testing it out, and it seems to be pretty decent. So I'm gonna go with it. Platform and handling wise, got race brakes, rally suspension as always for drag cars, fully upgraded front and rear anti-roll bars, and then full race reduction, which brings us to about 2,337 pounds, which is pretty light for the horsepower that we'll be using. So coming over to the intake, we got the race intake, race fuel system, the race ignition, race valves, race cams and valves, race exhaust, race engine block, race pistons, and race turbo. And then we have the race intercooler, race oil and cooling, and then the race flywheel. So just basically fully build the engine, and that's about all that there is to it. So let's take this thing out to the track and let's get the tune dialed up. Alright, so now that we're at the track, let's take a look at the tune that we got here. So, tire pressure, got 15 and 15, as low as you can go on both tires. And then here are the gears. So, 303 final drive, 467 on the first gear. That's what helps really get that launch down. You can honestly get away with putting it a tad bit higher if you wanted to, but that's pretty good right there. And then 262 for the second, 189, 141, 107, and then 83. If you're going in the quarter mile, you're really just going to be only using the 4 gears. But if you're doing the festival traps, you'll end up hitting the 5th gear. But it still has adequate power all the way through there. So you're good there. Zeros all the way down, and then 7 for alignment. Stiff anti-roll bars on the front and rear as far as you can go. The springs wise, you got loads you can go on the front at 121, and then we got 422.2 on the rears, and then the ride height all the way up. Dampening wise, I just got all the way down 1 and 1 for the front and rear for rebound stiffness, and then bump stiffness all the way up. This setup will allow you to do a little bit of a wheelie, and you can kind of mess with these a little bit more to kind of feather and get a tad bit higher wheelie, but this will get you down the track for sure. No aero. You can leave. I don't even know if adjusting this for an all-wheel drive car would matter to make you do reverse burnouts, but you don't really need to do burnouts in this car, so you're all good. And then 100, 100, 100, 100, and 80% balance on the rear. That'll also help you get up that wheelie. So that's about it for the tune. Let's take it to the track now and see how to launch this bad boy. So we got a car that's definitely a lot more horsepower than me lining up next to me, but for this car it's pretty simple. There's actually a couple of different ways to kind of launch this one. Yeah, you're gonna smoke me, guy. So I found a little inconsistency in Forza, but half the time you can kind of rev up the gears like that and kind of go through the whole thing if you just hit the clutch in. And so if you can get it to 4K or a little bit above 4K, it does an even higher wheelie. But then sometimes, in the event that you can't get it to go that full spectrum, which we're not seeing it now, but I'll see if I can get an example. Here we go. So right now, when I try it, you can't basically do the, it won't rev up to above 4,000, so you're kind of stuck here. So if it launches like this, still launches really good. And then if you want to try launching it at 4K, it does launch a little bit harder. It spins a little bit, but it powers through it pretty solidly. As long as you just don't miss first like I did. But so if you guys don't know how to really launch things in this game, quick little walkthrough. All you have to do is hold down the brake or the E-brake. In my instance, I'm holding down the brake, which is A, and then just hold the throttle down, and half the time you'll be able to do the full spectrum and hold it at 4K, which all you have to do is just tap the clutch and then hold the clutch in whatever RPM you want to launch at. So you can launch at 3K, you can go all the way down to like 2,500-ish. Highest you can about get to is like, let's see what that is, 4,600. So if you can get there, good. Otherwise, you might be locked down at around the 2K range. But either way, all you have to do is let go of the brake, and you're launching. So it's pretty nice. The all-wheel drive really makes up for only the 844 horsepower in this car. I'm going to show you what it will do to the quarter mile now. For those of you who don't know, you can just mark this. Mark the speed trap at the end, and then line up 440 yards away, which is the quarter mile, and let's run it. Okay, so that was pretty solid. I don't have the timer live on my screen, but that should be around an 840, 850 range, which for an 844 horsepower car, I think that's pretty solid. The all-wheel drive and the lightness of it, only being 2,300 pounds, really makes up for that fact. So I'm gonna do it one more time at a 2K launch, and just to show you guys the kind of comparison. Yeah, just get 440 yards away. And so yeah, now I am in that instance where I can't rev the whole thing up. So I found, I don't know, I've seen people try to do some workarounds where if you switch into reverse and then go back, it does it. But really the only workaround I've found is you have to kind of just reverse and then come back into it, and see like that, and now you'll be able to do it. So just kind of play around with it, figure it out for yourself. But let's try launching at 2K. And there we go, 163 across the line, another about 8.5, 8.4. So yeah, pretty solid car. If you guys like this, leave some comments, some other builds you might want to see. Maybe drop a like and subscribe if you want to. I'm going to be trying to come out with a lot more drag tunes in the near future. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, so yeah, stick around, and hope you enjoyed. Alright, I wanted to show you guys real quickly how this thing launches in the rain. Because right now it is autumn in Forza, which means it is just raining constantly, pretty much, which it's kind of annoying. But this is an all-wheel drive car that doesn't make too crazy of horsepower, so it actually still launches pretty good. So like I said, just hold the brake and gas down, and release. So there you go. Time is pretty much the same even in the rain. You can just launch a little bit harder in the rain if you do the 4K launch, because if you 4K launch in the rain, it does get a little squirrely on you, but it still goes. So just the benefits of an all-wheel drive car, and one of the downsides of this great, beautiful game of Forza is that it is constantly raining.